at Buckmore Park in Kent for round 5 of the Awning Company Super 1 British Karting Championships. Lots of upgrades and changes to the circuit recently by the new circuit owner John Surtees, and I spoke to him earlier. I started by asking John about his investment in Buckmore Park and how his interest in the circuit came about originally.
I became a karting father when Henry was brought down here by a friend of ours at the age of about 7.5, and he came back to me and said, "Daddy, that's what I want to do." So I became a karting father. And so that was with the transporter, with the little living accommodation where I was also chief cook, and also a sort of second mechanic, because our driver helped out as well. And I also ended up sponsor, of course. But then Bill Sisley, who owned the actual operation here on the circuit, came to me in about 2003 and said, "John, our facilities are rubbish." I said, "I know that." I said, "The circuit is emotional and fantastic from a point of view of its layout and location, but I must admit, can you help me?" he said. So I got involved in putting together the finance for him, and also the design and build of the clubhouse and the paddock buildings. So I already had a sort of an involvement. That continued just like that, and it wouldn't have probably changed if it hadn't have been for the fact that Henry was killed in that freak accident at Brands Hatch. And then I thought of those times that I spent with him and all those other youngsters around me, and good times. You know, where he would come along and say, "Daddy, we're off to another adventure." And I thought, having formed a foundation to commemorate his name and to help people with head injuries and other things, I thought I'd like to make some base and also help youngsters as well. And what better base? Buckmore. So often karting has been looked upon as a sort of, okay, it's a thing which doesn't matter if it's a bit scruffy or it's a little bit sort of load of tyres all just stuck round and that makes a circuit. You know, that's not good enough. Buckmore is a place where world champions have developed. You know, the Lewis Hamiltons, the Jenson Buttons, etc. And Indy car champion, Dan Weldon, and of course Johnny Herbert. So it's got this heritage, and I think that if you can bring the youngsters into a nice environment, it is all that much help, and it's also an educational factor. Karting, I saw with Henry, how it was part of an education, because let's face it, when the youngsters get out there, there's no one else holding their hand. You know, they're there, they've got to make decisions, and this all stands them in good stead for the future. So I thought, Buckmore, and if I can get a learning and training centre here as well, which I'm hopeful to do, that will allow the technical side to come in more and perhaps train some of those youngsters not to be Grand Prix champions, that's not the point, but to get it involved perhaps in the engineering industry and all the wonderful opportunities that are out there, both from the mechanical side and the technology side. Particularly in this age, we have to get away from kids just living their life from looking at a screen. Emotion has been the thing which drove me through my career, and that emotion was started by Dad coming home one day and saying, "There's a box of spanners," because I'd been helping him prepare his motorcycle, because he raced motorcycle and sidecars. Yeah. He said, "And there's also those tea chests there." He said, "If you put it together, you can ride it." And so that's where the emotion started. Putting together that Blackburn Wallace Speedway bike, 1930-ish, and then actually riding it. Right, I rode it and fell off it, but the fact is riding it, which started my whole career. And so I want to go along, if possible, and ensure that many youngsters go along and take something forward, particularly an emotion to drive them on. But certainly the youngsters which take part in all this will be able to communicate better. Even if they don't get involved in a program like ours, they'll be able to communicate better, and when they go out and perhaps start driving on the road, they would have experienced their first skids, their first spins and all those things, and that feeling of what a vehicle is through the seat of their pants. So they'll be a safer driver as well. So there's lots of benefits which can come, which I hope we can sort of help to provide.
Fascinating interview there with John Surtees. I'd like to thank John for his time. To find out more about Buckmore Park, check out the website, all the W's, buckmore.co.uk. My illustrious colleague Jake Sanson is back from commentating at Le Mans, and as an expert in the history of that race, he'll no doubt be able to tell you that John Surtees finished third at Le Mans in 1964, the same year he won the Formula One World Championship title.
Certainly is true. Yes, one of the legends of the sport, but on the front row here at Buckmore Park, it's Butterfield versus Lloyd, and Lloyd has already taken a big lunge into the first corner. Can't quite make it through to the lead though, and we've got a spin at the back. That is the 26 that's gone around Ben Burgess, so he's off at Henry's, but at the front of the field it is still those two battling away together, Butterfield and Lloyd, and I think in the early stages it is still, yes, the O-Plate Jensen Butterfield that leads the way.
Down through Symes Sweep for the first time, fantastic corkscrew part of the circuit, and the circuit, I have to say, this weekend, Jake's looking absolutely fantastic. It's the nearest thing to a mini Formula One circuit, isn't it, with all the new painted lines. We're on board here with the man in second place. That is Alex Lloyd, that's Jensen Butterfield. We're looking at the race leader, the championship leader as well, through turn one, and that is out of turn one up to the hairpin.
Yeah, we watched Finley Bunce having a move or two just at the end of the lap as well, as they came through Garda for the first time, as they make their way through the second hairpin up towards the S's. Lorcan Hannafin, Strawberry Racing driver, in third position at the moment. Started in P6, so a great start there for Hannafin, and he's already getting on with the job, although Butterfield and Lloyd are trying to run away and hide. Look at this, Hannafin's going to have to work with the boys behind him as up the inside. Great move there in the fourth place for Tom Canning. He's started right up in the top six anyway. Interesting to see how Johnny Edgar's going to get on in this one as well. He started on the third row, and he's not in the top four, although he's going to try and have a move up the inside. That did not go well at all.
He has lost a good 4 places there, I think. We're back on board here with Alex Lloyd looking at Jensen Butterfield. Have a look at the replay. Here comes Johnny having a look up the inside. Oh, he's never going to make that work. He gets squeezed. He's up the back, and he loses the places, so he's got a lot of work to do now to get back into contention.
That's a rare error from Johnny Edgar. It just looked as if he went into the corner indecisively, and that's what caused it, as Canning has another go up the inside, this time on Lorcan Hannafin into Garda, but again, just like Johnny Edgar, he made the move very late into the apex of the corner, and you have to be decisive and you have to be sure you're going to get the move on. Johnny Edgar was not really going to make that move work, and it's dropped him 4 places as a result. The inside, that's Jeremy and Bunce getting past Owen Marlow in one go, and next on the target line will be Johnny Edgar trying to work his way up through the field, so it's going to be very close.
Marlow from Next Gen Motorsports started P8, so he's running 8th once more, had made up a place, now he's lost 2.
And Luke is on the back of Johnny Edgar. It's the 77 class. Koika is trying to move his way up through the field, and it's Skittles as they come over the runoff strip. Up the inside there, great move from Koika as he gets past Edgar. Clayton Ravenscroft in the 75 in that little mix as well. So it's all kicking off as the 2 leaders try and get away. Hannafin and Cannon have broken clear. Then it is Ravenscroft in 5th position, the 75. Jeremy and Bunce squabbling away for 6th position. And then comes this squabble led by Owen Marlow. Really good battle, nose to tail, down through the second hairpin. Opportunity knocking again, perhaps for the 77 class Koika, who's now on the tail of Marlow. He's obviously got past Edgar somewhere on the lap. We didn't actually see that. Kieran Jeremy currently running in 6th position. Had that little tussle, of course, with Johnny Edgar trying to come over the back of him. Didn't work. But these 2 leaders, Jensen Butterfield and Alex Lloyd, continuing to stretch the advantage. Here is Lloyd. We're on board through Conways, through Henry's, and down to the first hairpin.
How fantastic does this circuit now look, Jake? You can see the changes that have been made, the blue and white of, well, I remember it as Henry Surtees helmet colours. The blue and white looks absolutely fantastic. No tyres and the painted lines, everything looking like a mini Grand Prix circuit. That's Klaus Koike's information, starting P12, now running 8th, so he's made up 4 so far.
Yep, it's not far from the imagination to describe this circuit now as the Silverstone of British karting. It's definitely getting that way. Whoops, so there was a bit of a weird one there for the 27. Owen Marlowe getting caught out in the battle with Rufus Hunt, the 14. Almost lost the place to him. Somehow he held on with one finger dangling over the edge of the cliff by the look of it. And now further in the battle, we've got Brandon Abraham trying to fend off Oakley Pryor, the rookie, who's having a great run here.
Out of hairpin 1 down to hairpin 2, battles all the way through the field. This is that battle between the 25 of Abraham and the 66 of Oakley Pryor.
It's a frustrating day at the office for Kieran Jermy. He started, don't forget, in P4, and he's now struggling to hang on to the top 6 right now. He's in the midst of a good battle. Once again, the 14, Rufus Hunt, trying to fend off from, who is that behind him, the 52?
Guy Cunnington, 52.
Oh, and that's a move up the inside. Finally, Canning gets the job done there to move up past Lorcan Hannafin for 3rd position. He's been nailing that move for a long time in his mind. Now he's actually able to execute it through Conway's and into Henry's. He shuts the door beautifully as we ride back on board with Lloyd. Through the left, through the right. Brilliant, these curbs now. It looks absolutely pure and superb, this circuit, like a real racer's track once again. It was always a fantastic venue, this one, and it really gave us some of the best action you'll ever see in British karting. But now it looks the part on the outside as well.
Exactly, as John described in his interview earlier on, it was scruffy. Tyres everywhere. Now it's not scruffy, it's absolutely superb, and as I've said already twice, it is as close as you can get really to a Formula One looking circuit. It's got that style about it. Love the fact that everything's got the same colour, the blue and white. I don't know how much money's been spent on these recticells. They cost an absolute fortune, and they are surrounding the circuit completely. And then the blue and white barriers replacing all of the tyres as well. So looking absolutely fantastic. The circuit and the staff must have put in a huge effort to make the changes here, and obviously a significant investment by John Surtees as well.
Yeah, a lot of the work at the Buckmore Park circuit is actually down to daughter Leonora Surtees. She's put in a lot of hard work here with the team, and it really does look spectacular. Great to see Buckmore Park looking the part as well as feeling and smelling the part. Now we've got into the second hairpin. Alex Lloyd still running close to Butterfield, but not quite able to put one over. Ravenscroft is in some trouble now, isn't he? Because he's got Jermy and Bunce right on his tail as they scrap away for 5th position. Canning trying to get away from Hannafin. Whoops! That was a big slide there from Ravenscroft. He managed to get the door shut as they flew down the side sweep and into Pullman's, but has he been able to shut the door for Garda? Yes, he has. So Ravenscroft getting away with that one as Edgar scraps away with a 77. That, of course, is Klaus Koike. Back on board with Lloyd. Let's ride on board a lap. Through the right, through the second apex. Hand signal from Butterfield. Into hairpin 1. Nice coax of the curb. Back to the inside for the left hand of the hairpin. And now back on the throttle. Let's listen. No lift of the throttle at all. Through the left and through the right and down Sime Sweet. They'll still be on the throttle at this point. It's only at the exit of Pullman's that they hit the brakes into paddock. It's a fantastic racing driver's circuit. A real roller coaster.
One thing John Surtees will appreciate is they come down Sime Sweep. The fastest way around a circuit back in the day was 4-wheel drifting. John will know all about that. That's not common thinking these days. We had a quick look there at Rufus Hunt's information. It's not common thinking that 4-wheel drifting is the fastest way around a track these days, but certainly a few of them putting on a 4-wheel drift going down Sime Sweep. It's a fantastic few turns, isn't it? They come through the S's right now, back into Sime Sweep. This has got to be one of the best complexes on any karting circuit anywhere in the world.
Potentially the Eau Rouge of British karting, you could say.
Well, I think I'd put that down to, well, potentially, I don't know, Raura.
Well, possible.
The first turn there, the right, left, up there. That's, I think that's more like a corkscrew, isn't it? At, where's that, the circuit of the American?
Seca.
Yeah, Laguna Seca in America.
Well, Clayton Ravenscroft managed to put the move on Johnny Edgar while we were chatting away. But look at Canning, he's pulled well away from Lorcan Hannafin as this battle for 5th position continues. Edgar again goes for a late move, but this time it's a good one on Findlay Bunce, and he gets that move done nicely as he closes up on Ravenscroft, who is now down to 6th position. Kieran Jermy then going back up into what is now 5th position. There he is. So Jeremy at the front of this queue now for a little while at least. It might not be for too long with the incredible talent he's got on his tail as Edgar tries desperately to close up on the 77, I think that is there, still in 6th position, 75, sorry, Clayton Ravenscroft. Through go the leaders, and here's Jeremy, Ravenscroft, Edgar, Bunce, and at the back of that queue, couldn't quite see who it was as they flashed past. And once again, we look to this battle. Dominic Bush is now in the mix, along there with the 25, I think that is there, of Brandon Abraham, the orange helmet. So Brandon Abraham still very much in the mix. But Canning, now that he's got rid of Lorcan Hannafin, he's charging after Butterfield and Lloyd, and on his own, he's actually got good pace to close up on them. This is a great run from Canning. This time up the inside, Ravenscroft gets 5th position back from Jeremy. Edgar is not far away from getting the job done too. Bunce is there, then following in behind, that is the 77 of Klaas Koika.
Leaders back up to her, hairpin 1. Alex Lloyd has not made the move yet. He's carrying the onboard camera. I think he's probably listening to what I've said to a few of the guys that carry the onboard camera. You're not allowed to lead until the last lap. We want plenty of action, please.
Well, let's be honest, Alex Lloyd has been in several positions in the past when he's had an opportunity to go for the victory, and he's just pushed it a little bit too hard too soon. He's learnt so much in the last 18 months, Alex Lloyd. He was a strong cadet, but he was never really a dominant one. He's made the switch into Minimax, and I am loving watching him develop. He is such a mature little racing driver who's getting better every single round, and it's not going to be long in this race before Butterfield is really getting some pressure. We've got just about a minute and a half left on the clock. It's now victory charge time for Alex Lloyd. Tom Canning sets the fastest lap of the race, 40.55 seconds. That's a good run in a Minimax, and Tom Canning is closing up on those two. He might still get a chance. Jeremy, look at that. He's lost 1, 2, 3 places since we last saw him. The squabble now puts Bunce at the head of this group, then Edgar. So Jeremy has lost 2 or 3 places. We were watching the leaders at that point, so he's had a very difficult race, and now up the inside, Ravenscroft displaces him too. Rufus Hunt could get the job done as well. Jeremy from 4th on the grid, really struggling.
Back on board with Alex Lloyd, not long to go, 55 seconds on the clock. This is real time, of course, this race, not edited for TV, just the online. That's why we can cover every second of every lap through the S's. One more time. Down onto Symes Sweep, this right-left flick. You run the curbs both sides into the right-hander, going up Damon Hill into the right-hander here, the big sweeping hairpin Garda. This is the centre chicane. Onto Herbert Rise, up into the left-hander at Cafe Corner, brings you out right-handed onto Bill Sisley's straight, the Sisley straight, 20 seconds to go, so 2 laps remaining.
This is it. Come on, Alex. If you're going to get an overtaking move on Jensen Butterfield, you'd better do it now, and you'd better do it quickly, because right behind Tom Canning is closing in on both of them as well. Canning may get an opportunity to storm them both here. Tom Canning is charging hard in 3rd position. Alex Lloyd has been sat on the gearbox of Jensen Butterfield all race long, but Canning is quicker than both of them right now. And if Alex Lloyd doesn't get this move done soon, he could potentially lose 2nd position. He could even lose, a shot at 1st place here. So up and over Herbert Rise, through the final turn and into the last lap. Here we go. Canning holds back, but he's going to get an opportunity, surely. He's got very fast there through Henry's. He's going to be on attack mode. Great defending from Jensen Butterfield. Canning's going to try and get himself in there. Nobody's helping anybody now on. It's every man for himself as they charge through the left, through the right. Butterfield, Lloyd, Canning, and down the side sweep. Look at how close they are. Surely the move is going to come from one of them into Garda, out through Paddock. This might be the opportunity. Lloyd's too far back, so too is Canning. I think Butterfield's done enough. Out of the left-hander. One last charge for Lloyd. He's too far back. He left it too late. It's going to be Jensen Butterfield. He wins it from Lloyd in 2nd, Canning in 3rd. 4th position for Lorcan Hannafin. Good drive there, and 5th across the line. After an absolutely titanic battle, it is going to be Finley Bunce. Oh, and a spin after the finish line there. Dramatic end to the race just outside the top 10. Johnny Edgar comes home in 6th. Klaas Koika in 7th place for Ravenscroft, Jeremy, and Guy Cunnington. What a race.
So Jensen won every race this weekend. Were you expecting that coming into the weekend?
A little bit, yeah. We were sort of planning to have a good result. But yeah, it was a great weekend, obviously winning both heats and both finals. Yeah, it was like a really good weekend.
And two very different days in terms of weather, but you seem to, be comfortable in both. Is this a track you particularly like?
Yeah, the weather did change a lot, like raining for both heats on Saturday and being dry both heats today. But yeah, I'm local to this track, it's my home track, it's where I learnt. But yeah, no, it was a really good weekend.
So it must feel good to win here, with so much history at the place for yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely a good place to win.
And had a lot of people you this weekend, it must be a lot of people you want to thank.
Yeah, I'd like to say a big thank you to my mechanic Toby, everyone at Strawberry Racing, and my parents, all my family for supporting me. Thank you.
A clean sweep at Buckmore Park means that Jensen Butterfield leads the championship by 33 points to Johnny Edgar, only one more ahead of Lorcan Hannafin. Tom Canning and Alex Lloyd are close to each other, but Jensen Butterfield is in the box seat and he's going to be very hard to catch heading to the next round. Next up, it's the Junior Rotax final.
Junior Rotax up next then. The grid positions look like this on the front row. Miles Apps, nice to see Miles back in contention. Rory Hudson likewise from Hoggard Foster, or Foster Hoggard rather, than Charpentier, Kimber, Chesterton, Turner, Pettit and Turney round out the top 10. Rest of the grid looks like this. We come up Damon Hill on the slow rolling lap into the left-hander there. This is Cafe Corner, right-handed now across the start-finish line. Charge, off we go through turn one. Do they all get through there safely? Looks like they have this time. Out of turn one, it's Hudson that leads it on the 41. He started on pole and he stays there for the time being.
They jostle for position, they just about get through the first hairpin. Will they all fit through hairpin two? Only just, there's not a lot of room for manoeuvring, but they make their way through. Oh, a couple of drivers have gone, that's Brown, and he ended up hitting Lamport. They went off together in the first part of the apex of the S's. Hopefully they'll be able to get it back together. But Tommy Foster is the man on the move here. Started P3, having a great weekend anyway. Now he's up into P2 behind Hudson. Great to see him on a charge. Axel Charpentier, the Frenchman, now up into P3 as they charge for the first corner once again on the second lap. And the black and white flag has gone out for Jordan Brown. So the officials have clearly decided it was him that was at fault there in the little tussle with Lamport.
William Pettit, the O-Plate British Open champion, started P9, made up 3 places so far. He'll be looking to make up another 5 and put himself at the front of this battle. Down through Symes Sweet one more time on lap 2. Out of Symes into the right-hander, up Damon Hill, and it's Tommy Foster that hits the front for what I believe is the first time in a Super 1 grand final. Tommy Foster leads.
Oh, what a sensational weekend he's having. He's not going to be able to hold it for long though. Up the inside comes Hudson again, but for a shining moment, Foster was leading and he's going to get it back again. So already in the Junior Rotax final, more overtaking for the lead than we had in the previous race. Chesterton trying to close up on both of them. Come on boys, I want to join the party. He started 7th position and is now fighting for the victory, so no wonder he's wanting to get on with this. John Hoggart is in 4th position. Charpentier comes next in 5th position. Down to the hairpin once again. Oh, Hudson's going to get an opportunity up the inside. Chesterton goes with him. So down to 3rd goes Foster, and Hoggart is closing in on all 3 of them with Charpentier and Pettit in tow.
Jonathan Hoggart is leading the chase, and if anyone can, Jonathan can. He's getting closer. And of course, the more these front 3 battle, the closer he will get. Here comes a change for the lead. Chesterton from 7th to lead it. Rory Hudson, the pole man, down a 2nd. Foster still there in 3rd, but look at how the others have closed up.
This is going to be a really intense battle. 4th position Hoggart, then it's Charpentier, then Turner, then Apps. It is so close in the gaggle of cars. I'm struggling to keep up with these guys as they make their way through. And up Damon Hill once again into Garda for 6th position. That looks like Apps is making a very late lunge on Turner. I think he managed to get that one done. He came from a long way back.
Yeah, Apps was on the front row, wasn't he? He's lost places, but he's back again.
That is an amazing overtaking move. Can you consider that you're already turning in at that point? And he was a good couple of meters back from the man in front, Turner. Whoa, that was a little bit close for comfort as Joe Turney manages to get the move done and move up into, what is that? I'm trying to count very quickly. I think that's 9th position he's worked his way up to now. So already Joe Turney trying to move his way up the order. And this is going to be very close, isn't it? All the way to the death, I can see this battle raging on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at the first part. Up the inside, that is Will Pettit making the move on Kimber. So great battling, and we just saw at the back of that little train, the 61 Conor McCarthy in there as well. Some of the best names in junior karting are in this battle at the moment, and Turney has been given a black and white flag.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that's for, but Joe Turney gets a warning for driving standards. Karts making up places all the way down the field. Fantastic battling all the way through. The 24 kart is Jemima Hepworth, the privateer, starting P14. She's still running 14th, but consistent.
Yeah, she put a good move there on Tom Edmonds, the rookie. So great battles from the front of the field all the way down to the back. Again from a long way back. Abs is trying to perfect this move. No, you don't! He manages to shut the door beautifully this time. Fantastic little scrap as desperately John Hoggard tries to hang on and manages to keep that 5th position, because of course he was in 4th a short while ago before Charpentier got it up the inside, and now Charpentier is making this a 4-way scrap for the victory up the inside. Beautiful overtaking move there on Foster. He timed that to perfection, and that is not an easy corner to get that move done. Now John Hoggard running 5th. He is in a very good position here because he can see 4 karts directly in front of him as he battles for position. If he can get it up to 2nd position and Turney's still behind him, he'll lead the championship, and up the inside goes Hudson to take back the lead. And a little further back as well, it looks like Foster's just lost 2 places, 1 to Hoggard and 1 to Apps, who is pulling off that killer move at Garda pretty much every time he sees it.
It's his favourite turn, isn't it, clearly, as he come up to hairpin one more time. There's a good, 3 karts at the front, and they are a little bit of a gap. That's Thomas Turner, the 8, started P8, now running 7th, Thomas.
Well, Foster must be sick to his stomach at the moment, mustn't he? He's down in 6th position, having previously led it twice for all of about 100 metres each. He's really struggling in this gaggle. Up the inside, though, is he going to try and take the lead back here? Oh, this is going to be so close as Chesterton tries to get one over on Hudson, but no, he can't quite get through, and this is only going to invite Charpentier with an open opportunity to get through. Now he tries again. Chesterton goes through. Charpentier trying to squeeze through on the inside, up on the curbs. He has to back out of it. Now he's going to go for the inside line, and he gets through, and this could open the floodgates for Hudson. Here comes Hoggard to try and get through as well. He just manages to get the door shut in time.
Fantastic racing. Apps, then Foster in the mix, then Turner. They come through Simon Sweep and Tyler Chesterton, who's never won a Super 1 Grand Final, televised final previously. He's in the box seat right now. They're scrapping all the way through.
Contact!
That's a problem.
Foster.
That's Tommy Foster.
That's such a shame. It was him and the number 8 that came together, Thomas Turner and Foster, who previously led this race. Let's look at it again. It got a little bit squabbled. Look, defending like mad. Hudson holds the inside line, and Foster tries to take advantage up the inside of Hoggard, and Turner has nowhere to go but into the side of him.
Yeah, to be fair to Tommy, he realises he's made a mistake. He tries to back out of it, hits the brakes, but unfortunately looks like, well, I don't know whether you've got a starter button on these engines, but it doesn't look like it's starting clearly. So where's that leave us then? Chesterton leads from Charpentier, and then Hudson, equal gap between them, a good sort of 6 or 7 kart lengths. So is it going to finish like that? Not sure it will, but Chesterton has never won a final before. This will be a first for him.
Well, Hoggard is still battling away there for 4th position with Miles Apps, who's got that killer move at Garda up his sleeve to play on him. But I'm really surprised that Hudson was defending so vigorously into Garda on that lap that caused all the melee, because it's still, we've got 5 minutes left on the clock. It's very early to be defending and throwing in the towel saying all I can get is 3rd position. Surely was that a mistake from Hudson perhaps?
Well, they were lining up behind him. Maybe he's just trying to hold what he had. That's Apps up the inside of the 6, Jonathan Hoggard. So Miles Apps started P2, I think it was, wasn't it, on the front row, back to 4th place.
They're going to need to rename that corner before long. It's going to need to be the Apps attack corner or something along the lines of that. Miles Apps bend anyway, because he's certainly making a name for himself there. Every single lap he gets somebody in front of him. He goes, right, I can't believe you haven't learnt from this yet. I'm going to go right up the inside and show you how it's done. And he's up to 4th position. And already, look at the speed he's carrying. He's already getting away from not just any driver at all in the field, John Hoggard. So Apps is on a mission, is up the inside to retake the lead. Well, no, for the first time take the lead. Charpentier hits the front for the first time in this race.
Yeah, Charpentier leads it then. Miles Apps, I have to say, this is the best performance we've seen from Miles for a while. Charpentier didn't have the lead for long. Tyler Chesterton's having none of that. He's sweeping back into the lead, but that move has allowed Rory Hudson to get closer. So once again, 3 karts in the mix at the moment, with Apps getting closer. Then comes Hoggard. A little bit of contact looked like there between the 2 karts. One of them Conor McCarthy as they came through hairpin 2.
Mark Kimber was the other, so they managed to get away with that one, but up the inside, Charpentier just defending there from Hudson, not giving him an opportunity to come through. He wasn't close enough to get the move on Chesterton, but he just positioned his kart more to the middle of the circuit to stop Hudson getting through. That was a good bit of tactical defence there. 47 now, Mark Kimber getting the warning from the steward, so I wonder if that little incident they've judged might have been his fault there. I'm not sure whether it was for that or for track limits, but still, Kimber not having the best of days and still struggling. Miles Apps, though, getting very close to the leading 3. This is a magnificent squabble. Charpentier is not able to hold on to Chesterton, is he? Tyler Chesterton, he really seems to have that kart bolted to the ground in this race circuit. Hudson again, look, he defends. It's as if he can't attack the guys in front of him.
Now Chesterton will want these karts battling behind them. You battle over second place, allow me to get away, he'll be thinking. But there's 6 of them, there's going to be, well, look at that, they're well clear now of the chasing group. So Chesterton.
Here comes Apps.
Yeah, there's another move for Apps for third place. A little bit of contact, but no damage done.
And Hoggard gets through as well there, but they rubbed wheels. You can see the smoke pouring off the back wheels as they rubbed wheels in position there, and that's caused a bit of an issue for Charpentier. Where is he now? Oh, sorry, not Charpentier. Hudson, who's now back into 5th position. Charpentier, meanwhile, is getting onto the back of Chesterton. 3rd place Apps, 4th place Hoggard, 5th place is Hudson, and then 6th is the 96. He's crept up into the mix very quietly, hasn't he, Mr. Turney? And now he's right there in the mix.
He has indeed. The leader got away slightly, but not for long. Looks like Charpentier's closing him down, or is he? No, I don't think he is now. So Apps there in 3rd place. 6 is Hoggard, looking to defend. The 5th place is 41 Rory Hudson. Then Turney looking very racy in 6th. As he comes through the S's, down side sweeps, and it looks like Chesterton may have broken them here. He's got a good, 8 to 10 car lengths, and Charpentier runs wide.
Contact again as up the inside. Apps tries to get the move through for 2nd position, but round the outside, Hoggard's going to get them both, and 2 of them go wide. This is going to be incredible with 1 minute and 15 seconds on the clock. It's all kicking off for 2nd position. Hoggard is the one who's made it through. Apps into 2nd now, and is that's Hudson there in 4th position. One of them has disappeared. I think it's Chesterton.
Chesterton's got it won, and that's because of the battling in behind. He won't know that at the moment. He may get a message as he goes down side sweep to one his mechanic with his arms out, held out wide, saying you've got a big lead, son.
Well, the
one
one who's missing from the gaggle is Charpentier. Charpentier got spat out at the centre chicane, so he's no longer with this group. Miles Apps in 3rd position, knocking on the door of Hoggard. Hudson's there with him in 4th place. Turney has got into 5th place. Where's Charpentier, though? Way behind Kimber, who's been given a black flag now. Kimber is shown the black flag. That does not happen very often in Super 1. I wonder what the cause for that is, Alan.
Not sure what that is. We've obviously not seen it. Something's gone on. The officials have spotted it, and black flag for Mark Kimber, unfortunately for Mark.
That's very uncharacteristic. He's a much better driver than the black flag would give him credit for, so something obviously not right with the kart, or maybe it's just not his day for whatever reason. Chesterton, though, look at this lead. It's as if Christmas has come early for the 25. He is way out in front of Hoggard now, thanks to that little tussle. And as we go into the last lap, this time it's going to be a really exciting battle for 2nd position. Kimber shown the black again. Clearly, he didn't see it the last time round, and as he goes into the last lap, well, he's going to lose places anyway, isn't he? As defend is the message for Hoggard. He's in 2nd position. Turney's down in 5th, so this is a golden moment for Hoggard if he can just stay in 2nd place, because this will give him the championship lead heading to the next round, if he can just hang on in there. Chesterton is a long way in front now. The entire stretch of Sime Sweep and Pullman's in front. Into Garda for the last time. 2nd place, Hoggard, desperately trying to hang on in front of Miles Apps. You're not going to get your signature move this time, Bucko, as Tyler Chesterton out in front. He's going to take the victory here. Checkered flag flies, and it's a great victory. Hoggard is only just going to beat Apps to the line there, with Hudson in 4th position, 5th place for Turney, and that means that Jonathan Hoggard will lead the championship going to the next round if we've got our mathematics right. Turner comes home for 6th position in front of Conor McCarthy. Will Pettit struggles to 8th in front of Bradley Barrett and Jensen Brown rounding out the top 10.
Tyler, relatively easy victory, I suppose, in the end, winning by over 3 seconds. Did you expect that?
No, I was quite surprised. I managed to get a good start, so just tried to do my best and drive away. I had a few people coming at me, but I managed to just get back past them and got lucky at the end. We were all crashing. It's just an easy win, really.
And where do you think the change in voice in the race was, where you knew that you were going to win?
As soon as I looked behind me and seen that there was a big gap, I knew there wasn't much time left, and then at that point you get that feeling you should know you're going to win, really.
So this must give you a lot of confidence now going into Fullbeck and boost you up the championship a bit?
Yeah, I'm quite excited to see what we can do in the next couple of rounds, really. So, yeah.
And who would you like to thank for the weekend?
I'd like to thank my mum and dad, Coles Racing, Wilty back at home, and Ogden Race Engines.
So it's close, but just as we predicted, John Hoggart has just been able to get himself into the championship lead. 3 points ahead of Turney and 7 ahead of William Pettit, with Miles Apps and Axel Charpentier never too far away from the mix. Next up on track, it's going to be the senior Rotax final.
Josh Collins is the man on pole, finished 4th in both of the heats, but then won the pre-final to put it on pole. They are the top 10 drivers in the race. Jack McCarthy down on P7, bit of a surprise there. Rest of the grid looks like this. Zach Falk on P12, look for him to make some moves. Come through Cafe Corner, out onto the Bill Sisley straight, and it's straight away. Josh Collins sweeps into a 4 or 5 car lengths lead up to the hairpin. That's going to help him because those behind looking to defend, so Collins is away.
Well, he's disappeared off into the distance. It's 3 wide further back. Stephanie Livasconte going wheel to wheel with Rob Ellis and Carol van Boosekum. So all the action in the back of the field as good as it is up front. But yes, Josh Collins disappearing into the distance out in front in the early stages. Was everybody else asleep on that start line? Because he's absolutely romping away already. Up to Garda for the first time. Didn't quite see who that was to get the sweeping move up the inside. I think it was Josh White actually in the 17 working his way through the field. Back to the front, Collins. There's Jack McCarthy in the 81, battling his way into 5th position at the moment. He's the championship leader, and it's not the most perfect of weekends for him so far. As up the inside, good move there from Zach Falk to move up the 34 into another position. Through they come once again, through to the left and through to the right, down the Syme sweep. Such an incredible part of the circuit, this. Top speed, full aggression, very delicate steering. If you go over the envelope, you will spin and you will have a very disappointing race from then on. Great battle, 26 and 16 in the middle of the pack. It's going very well for Harrison Thomas just in front of the rookie Sam Baker. But Collins leads the way. And still the battle very close in behind. Now, 2nd position, that is the 6. Very close in behind is Charlie Turner. So James Johnson has Charlie Turner breathing down his neck as the rest of the field storms through the 2nd hairpin. Out in front, Collins, Johnson, Turner, Skelton is the order. Here they come, all 4 of them. Very close together, very tight-knit group at the front. But that big advantage Collins once had seems to have been decimated. The 3 of them working together, Johnson, Turner and Skelton, seem to have made up the ground. Josh White making his way up into 12th position. Don't forget, he won the television final in both of the first rounds of the championship, so he's fighting his way up through the field, and he's made it as far as 12th, so that's the 2nd lap in succession. He's made a move at Garda. He was obviously watching Miles Apps earlier on and thought, I can do that as well. Out of the 2nd hairpin. 5th position, that is the 81 Jack McCarthy. So he's still very much there or thereabouts. That's Josh Skelton's details. Started 4th, running 4th for Coles Racing, but Jack McCarthy is not far away from him. And now Josh Collins seems to be being caught by the rest of the field. Scrapping up the inside. That was a very late move up the inside there. Nicholas Scholl catching out Morgan Rose with a very late switch to the inside line there. And that would have put Morgan Rose off for a few feet. But still Collins, then Johnson, then Turner, then Skelton, then McCarthy, and up the inside. Nice tasty little move there as Zach Falk puts one over on Sam Baker. There is his details. Started P12, now he's up to 8th, so 4 places made as we watch the 85 Morgan Rose following in the wheel tracks of, I think it was Tom Croydon, the 77, who's made up a few. And still these 4 run very closely at the front of the field as up the inside. Beautiful little switchback move there as Harrison Thomas puts one over on Ben Davis in the 11. So Thomas up to 6th position now, 6 places made up. Here they come once again. And it's still Collins leading the way with Johnson giving him chase, Turner following in close behind, and Skelton just watching every move. There's Ben Davis still on the tail of the 26 Harrison Thomas. Very much in the mid of this top 10 squabble. Down Syme sweep, through Pullmans, hit the brakes, into paddock. Make sure you get the exit right. Collins is looking very good out in front. He's still, despite having been caught by this gaggle of 4 karts, led by Johnson and pursued by Turner, Skelton. McCarthy is up the inside. I think that was a place made up. Well, we pulled away at exactly the wrong moment. Couldn't see who it was. But even though these 4 karts are closing in, I was about to say, actually, that he's got a bit of an advantage. No, he hasn't, because the 6, Johnson, has spent the last 2 or 3 corners getting right back on terms with him. Jack McCarthy closing up to the back of Skelton to move up into what could potentially be 5th position. We look back, and still it's the 26 of Harrison Thomas in 6th position in front of Ben Davis in 7th. And now we go back to the leaders once again. Skelton trying desperately to move up into 3rd position behind Johnson and Turner, with Collins still leading the way and Jack MacArthur pursuing them all. So the top 5 go through. 26 and 11 next. Thomas and Davis, 6th and 7th position, through Conways, through Henrys, up to the first hairpin. All tightly knitted in together. Short stretch down to hairpin 2. Out of the left-hander, on the short run again, down towards the S's, left over the curbs, right over the curbs. And still, these 5 are tightening up. Jack McCarthy is definitely chasing these 4 down now. The gap is getting smaller all the time, but Collins is still able to keep this gap just to the 2 to 3 kart lengths wide, and that is enough to keep him in 1st position.
Jack McCarthy started P7, he's getting closer. Jack's right on the back of this group now. If anyone can go from where he is in 5th place to 1st, it will be Jack. Remember the Ferrari Academy, of course, got that opportunity out at Maranello before the start of the season. There he is, right on the back of the group.
If you're going to learn from anybody, you may as well learn from the best. The Italians over at Maranello, at the northern part of Italy. Their passion is absolutely unquestionable, and they're really starting to get a bit of a reputation for bringing young talented superstars up. Whoop, there's another talented superstar move there. Up on the inside, Zach Fulk getting one over on Ben Davis, and Sam Baker, the rookie, very nearly joining in for company on the inside line of the apex there. But Collins, that must have been a killer lap, because he's pulled out another 2 kart legs. Is up the inside, finally Skelton makes his move there on Charlie Turner, up into 3rd position, and now Turner's going to get him straight back again, and here comes McCarthy. He's going to try and get past both of them. He has to hang back and manages to get 4th position.
Good move, great move in fact, as he went into the first part of the S's. That's Jack McCarthy all over. Josh Collins it is that leads it though, and it looks like he's got 1 kart now for company.
And that is why Jack McCarthy got picked for the Ferrari Academy, because he can read an opportunity like that in a split second and take full advantage of it. He is a very crafty driver. He may not be the fastest over 1 lap, but in terms of his racecraft, he is lightning quick with his reflexes. He can spot an overtaking move from a mile away.
Yeah, 43, Josh Skelton, now in 5th place for Coles Racing. He come out of hairpin 2, up through the S's here, down through Symes Sweep, this corkscrew of a complex, the big sweeping right and left, going downhill at the same time. Fantastic corner.
So again, Skelton is having to play catch-up, this time now down in 5th position as McCarthy chases after the number 5 of Charlie Turner, but Johnson has broken away. There he is in 2nd position, trying to get on terms with Josh Collins. 6th place is still Thomas, but 8th position is now the 11, because of course Zach Fulk managed to get past the 11 of Ben Davis, who's now struggling to hold back Sam Baker in 9th position. And is there going to be a challenge from the man in 10th place? Well, you'd have thought so. Josh White still moving his way through, and don't forget, he is on the catch-up, having won the first 2 rounds of the season of the televised final. This is not the best of weekends as far as he's concerned, and he'll want to get something out of the bag at least.
Yeah, he wants to at least recover some points if he can. Take something out of the weekend, but as you say, Jake, not the best weekend for Josh White. We know he's got bags of quality, but for whatever reason this weekend, not his weekend.
It's a difficult one to put together from race meeting to race meeting, because all these circuits in the calendar are all very different, and one driver can be like lightning at one circuit and really get the sweet spot. 2 or 3 weeks later, when we go to the next round, they could find everything an uphill struggle. It's an incredible discipline, this. You have to be really, really smart and intuitive everywhere you go.
Indeed. Fantastic circuit, fantastic facilities here as well, by the way, if you are interested. So we see Josh White up the inside for a spot on Sam Baker, the rookie. So gets that done. Nice move. If you are interested in holding corporate events here, not just karting events, they've got meeting rooms, all sorts of facilities. Get in touch with the circuit and ask them about the opportunities they can afford you.
Yeah, it is a lovely little facility they've got upstairs in the clubhouse, the John Button Suite, which of course was funded by the 2009 Formula One world champion Jenson Button. He actually put money into the project himself. He wanted to see the circuit where he learnt his craft as a racing driver benefit other generations of karters and businesses. So he dipped into his own pocket. Very nice of Jenson there, and the work that he and several other people have put into this place, it really does look the bee's knees now. So, this battle still raging for third position as Turner desperately tries to hang on in front of Jack McCarthy. Skelton just can't seem to run with them at the moment, and now that little squabble between Josh White and Sam Baker looks like there might be a little bit more mileage to it. Trying to join the gaggle is Nick Scholl, who's still a little way off this group. The 22 trying to get on to terms with Sam Baker, but he's still got quite a few kart lengths to make up. Meanwhile, it looks as though Johnson has been dropped again by Josh Collings. A few more kart lengths back he's fallen, and now he is in the clutches of Turner, McCarthy and Skelton. This could be a really tasty couple of laps.
So consistent, Josh Collings out front, absolutely consistent. It's so difficult to be out front and just maintain a pace. Not looking behind him, he's just concentrate on moving forward and going as fast as he can. He doesn't need to look behind. He may start looking behind when it comes down to where we're at now, which is the business end. Couple of laps to go.
Oh, McCarthy slices it up the inside there. That was a very nice, tasty braking manoeuvre there to outclock Turner into the apex, and he's up to third position. So very nicely done from McCarthy, and that's pushed Turner back into the clutches of Skelton. So a very tasty manoeuvre there from McCarthy. But you're absolutely right about Josh Collings up front. And do you know what I see when I watch him out in front? A GT team, a prototype team in the World Sports Car Championship. Once he moves his way up, they'll look for qualities like that in a driver.
Yeah, he's not interested in looking behind, or hasn't done so far, because he's basically saying, listen, if you can overtake me and you've got the pace, then come and do it. If you can't, then I'm just putting in consistent lap times, lap after lap. Fantastic performance by Josh Collings, and a great move there by Harrison Thomas for KR Sport.
Yeah, Turner was the one who got left out to dry there. He got a little bit wide, and that has put him down 2 places. Thomas having an absolutely cracking run, and with him went the 34 of Zach Falk, who's now trying to get past him. Turner will be feeling very disgruntled at that one, because he's now at the back of a queue he was towards the front of. But Skelton, Thomas and Falk have all been able to take advantage and get through, and guess who's next? Ding ding, Josh White. He is on the warpath trying to move up places, as we know, and it's not going to be long before he's knocking on the door. However, Josh Collings is about to cross the line with only a dozen seconds or so to go, so this is going to be the penultimate lap. We're running out of time.
Yeah, 2 laps to go then as they cross the line. 11, 10 seconds. It was around about 14 seconds as Collings dropped across the line, so 2 to go.
Falk is nudging Thomas all the way around the first couple of apexes. Come on, man, put your foot down. I've got Turner right on my tail, and I've got the 17 Josh White, and right behind him we've got Baker and the 11 Ben Davis. Come on, you need to get on with this, otherwise we're going to be sitting targets.
Josh White's going to be looking to tick 3 drivers at least off his list here as he come up to Garda with just over a lap to go. They're battling though. Is that going to help Josh White or hinder him? Are they going to be in a complete gaggle in front of him into the last lap then? It looks like Collings has got this one.
I can barely watch in the scrap for 5th position, but you're absolutely right. I think Collings has got the measure of Johnson. 3rd position is going to be McCarthy in front of Skelton, but 5th position is still anybody's, and it's Harrison Thomas in the 26 who leads the way. Through go those 4. Where's the 5th position battle? Still squabbling away, but these 4 have settled into a rhythm. It still could be anybody's guess, but Collings, that's the first time all race, I think, that Collings has dared to look back, but he's got enough in the tank. Thomas is going to hang on to this one in 5th position, just in front of Falk and Turner, but it is a victory out front for Josh Collings. Masterclass driving. Johnson in 2nd, McCarthy in 3rd, Skelton 4th, and it's not Thomas who gets 5th in the end. He's been beaten to the line by Zach Falk. And also Josh White and Morgan Rose have been given penalties for an incorrectly positioned front fairing. That means it's Turner in 7th from Sam Baker, Ben Davis and the Austrian Nicolas Scholl making his way into the top 10.
A great win there, Josh. Just, talk us through the race.
Yeah, just concentrate, make sure I had a really good start. And and then just got my head down and, you know, pushed as hard as I can, be consistent as possible, and yeah, sort of had a couple of looks behind, sort of checked the gap, and was able to keep it to the end. So yeah, really pleased. I'd like to thank the team, Steve Ogden for the engines, and my mechanic Tiff, and my family. So.
And you know, you seemed to come really strong this morning when the track was dry. Were you always quietly confident that a win was coming in final two?
Just see how it comes. You know what I mean? See how the race went, and you know, sort of all went my way. So
2 wins in as many rounds. You know, you must be looking quite strong in the championship now. You think you can go on and win it?
Fingers crossed we continue on for the rest of the year. So yeah.
Championship points in senior Rotax look like this: 5-4-9 for McCarthy. He's got a 9-point lead now over Collings, but Collings is the man with the wind in his sails. Charlie Turner, Josh White and Josh Skelton not too far away though. Next up, IAME Cadet, and the first attempt to get this underway, resulting in this scary looking incident.
Yeah, occasionally motor racing reminds us that it is still a bit of a dangerous sport. And up and over, very spectacular. Van Napton ends up on the ground. It looks more spectacular than it ended up being in terms of injuries. Nobody was hurt, would you believe? Down to the first corner again. Look, the jostle for position. 1 or 2 karts a little bit too close together, and Van Napton is pitched into a barrel roll. He wouldn't take the restart, but fortunately he was perfectly okay. An absolute miracle in modern motor racing, and testimony to the work of the marshals at the side of the track. So it's the same old story going into the restart. At the front of the grid, it's Harry Thompson on pole position, the O-plate. Alex Simmons alongside him, Bray Keneally and Matt Rees on the second. Wilkinson and Dodds, Taylor and Dewey, Dimitrov and Barnard rounding out the top 10. Keep an eye on Josh Radican in 13th position. He could spring a surprise or two. Van Napton showing up in 19th. He won't take up the restart. Aidan Neat and Alicia Barrett from further down could be a surprise. Here we go then. Is Thompson going to lead? He might not. Round the outside. Simmons looks as though he got a cracking start, and he is going to try and hold it round the outside. Simmons leads, but there to the inside comes Thompson, trying to hold his own, and Keneally on board. We ride with the 10 as it's going to be AIM 1, 2 and 3 yellow flags at the first couple of corners. Didn't see anybody going wide. Maybe there was a jostle in the first hairpin and they all got back together. Keneally is in second position. Great start from him.
Greater start though from Alex Simmons. He's got a nice comfortable lead at this stage, but they will hunt him down, be sure of that. These cadets, as up the inside is Wilkinson. Wilkinson looking for a big result this weekend. He retained the World Championships at Clandale recently, so he's in good form, and we'll be looking for a big result here as well.
Harry Thompson's looking really racy in third position, as up the inside there goes the 66, again making up positions in the early stages. Reggie Dewey, great to see him on the charge. He's so good at this in the early stages. Even if he's in a lower position, it won't be long before he's rising up through the field. That's a nice little move up the inside there for Georgi Dimitrov as he moves to cover his line. Taylor Barnard in the mix there. I just saw the GP plate getting in amongst that lot as well. But it's Simmons from Keneally and Thompson. It's interesting to see that it's not Fusion driver superstar, the O-plate Harry Thompson's day all over. He's been dominant in recent times, but he's got a bit of a challenge in front of him here. Now, that is our race leader, Simo himself, Alex Simmons in kart 34. It's AIM, Fusion in the top 3 at the moment. Normally it's a flock of Fusion killer bees, but not this time. AIM seem to have a trick up their sleeve. Keneally goes up the inside and takes the lead off Simmons. Thompson's going to go with him. They rub wheels. This is going to be very tight. Simmons holds the inside line. Great driving there from Alex Simmons as he holds on to second position, but it's now Keneally from Simmons.
I did say they would hunt him down, didn't take them long, did it? They come down through Sime Sweep one more time. C-plate Johnny Wilkinson looking to become part of the train out front, but may need some help from those behind him. So we see 35, that's Matthew Rees up the inside through Garda, making a place up. Wilkinson's got a little bit of a gap between him and the karts in front. He'll need them to make 1 or 2 overtakes and he should be right on them, or alternatively he needs somebody behind him to push him along and help him get there. Here comes one of those overtakes though. It's Thompson for second, Simmons down a third, Wilkinson gets slightly closer, as does Rees, and then the kart's in behind.
Well, I think the next one in line is the number 6, isn't it? Joseph Taylor. Then it's Reggie Dewey in the 66. That's Arvid Lindblad, the Swedish ace, running in 11th position at the moment. One of the top talented rookies in the 2016 campaign. He's getting better all the time as well. Lindblad could be competing for podiums towards the end of this season, given his current rate of development. Up the inside, another Fusion move. This time it's Kai Askey.
Yeah, Kayaski, and again one of those drivers in his rookie season who looks very impressive indeed. Zach O'Sullivan, another rookie with Fusion, arguably maybe the top rookie this season, the one that has impressed, but certainly Aski's impressed me. Alex Dunn as well, Josh Rowledge we've seen.
Well, Aski just made another sweeping move, and he actually brought Jamie Mead, the 97, along with him. Another very good opportunistic move there from young Mead. Another driver who we're going to see some good things from. A great squabble, this for the lead, as Johnny Wilkinson gets in the mix, and it's Skittles. Into the lead goes Thompson. There's Keneally who's gone through, and up into fourth position goes Rees. Brilliant overtake there on Wilkinson. Oh my word, it's absolute pandemonium, but look who emerges out in front. He's so good at doing this in the gaggle, isn't he? Harry Thompson, but already he's looking over his shoulder. He seems more nervous this weekend than I've seen him all year.
He's looking for a 2-stroke and 4-stroke win in cadets this season, and if anyone can, he certainly can. He would probably be an even money favourite, maybe odds-on favourite to do that. Matthew Rees there pictured. Thompson is quality all the way through, no doubt about it. If you look at any number of drivers racing in Super 1 at the moment and think, you know, who could make it all the way? Harry Thompson for me, Jake, certainly one of those young drivers at the moment. Others will figure as well, but Thompson, it wouldn't surprise me to see him at the top level of motorsport in the next 10 to 12 years.
Well, Johnny Wilkinson has just made his way up the inside of Matthew Rees. Alex Simmons still there in third position, but this is a complete role reversal of what we're used to seeing. Normally we see 5 or 6 Fusion karts at the front, squabbling with the 1 or 2 individuals from other teams. This time it's an AIM whitewash in the top 4, isn't it? Look, we've got 1 in first position, 1 in third, 1 in fifth, and I think there's another one in the mix there as well. AIM really seem to have got the setup right here at Buckmore Park.
Don't forget Johnny Wilkinson for KMS though, as going through to the lead, Thompson, and Simmons goes with him, so Bray Keneally briefly led. That's Wilkinson right in behind Keneally now, the C plate looking to put a move on him sometime soon. Comes alongside up into Cafe, can't quite get it done.
That's absolutely amazing. We almost went 4 abreast into the apex of Cafe, and now this is Simmons trying to go up the inside of Thompson, and it looks as though Keneally's going to go with him. That was a brave move from Simmons. Thompson now nowhere to be seen, and it looked to me as though Keneally had to bolt himself to the inside line. That's Taylor that's moved up into third position. Where is Thompson?
Wilkinson into third. Taylor's fourth. He was nearly third, but Taylor slots into fourth. It's Wilkinson through to third place.
Well, where's Thompson? Thompson is right down the order. I'm not sure what's happened to him, because that is Joseph Taylor who's in fourth position. Then it's Wilkinson. Where is Thompson? There he is. He lost about 4 places then in that little squabble.
Dimitrov, the 23, in the mix. He looks like he's got Maxwell Dodds alongside him for company as well, 33. So both of those drivers in contention, and they're certainly close enough to win it.
This is so tense at the front though, isn't it? As we've got Joseph Taylor now up into third position. Harry Thompson is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th position behind Rees, and also behind Johnny Wilkinson. Back on board with Bray Keneally, looking at the race leader. Simo doing a good job there, Alex Simmons in front of the field. Nothing in it. Look how close they are together as they go through the sweep. If you had that in Formula 1, you'd be in danger of losing your front nose cone. But these two squabbling away, having an absolute barnstormer. Third place still Taylor, then Wilkinson, then Rees, and then Harry Thompson. And it's anybody's guess after that as the field squabbles and jostles for position. Plenty an overtake into Garda, but it's still not decided who's going to be in the top 10 behind the leaders.
5 minutes to go as they cross the line, just over 5 minutes. 12-minute races these, plus 1 lap. Once it counts down the timer, you see the last lap board come out, and Thompson trying to get back in contention. Where is he now? Is that 6th?
It's 5th now.
5th place, yeah, 5th, and then Rees right behind, then Dewey, then comes 16 Vatican.
And Taylor Barnard is in or thereabouts in that little squabble for 7th position. I think I count that he's in 11th at the moment. Yes, he is. So the GP plate just outside the top 10. Here goes Bray Keneally up the inside. And is Joseph Taylor going to go with him? He's going to have to shut the door. No, he doesn't. Simmons dust holds on, and Wilkinson slips through into third position for good measure. So Joe Taylor trying to go for a great opportunistic move. He almost got it done, but it's cost him. And he's now down to 4th position with his teammate Harry Thompson breathing down his neck.
Fantastic battling all the way down. These 6 are clear now.
There goes Taylor.
Here comes Taylor. There goes Thompson with him. And just like that, Wilkinson loses a couple, goes from 3rd to 5th. but he's still there, and he's experienced enough these days to know, as long as he's in the mix, as the time counts down with about 90 seconds to go, he wants to be a little bit closer to the lead, but 5th place at the moment's okay. Dewey leading a little battle and running wide is the 30, is that 35, Reese?
It was Alex Simmons who ran wide, as up the inside goes the 16. Beautiful move from Josh Rattigan. So
he switched teams to IAME Motorsport as well. He was with KMS.
Yes, he was. Interesting, the only man for the KMS team in the top 6 is actually Johnny Wilkinson. That's the 21, Alex Dunn, the Irish rookie, who's been given a black and white flag. There is up the inside again to take the lead. Goes the 34, Simmons. Taylor trying to go with him. Bray Keneally defending valiantly up the inside, but Thompson's up to 3rd position. Wilkinson might get 4th position. No, he doesn't. Joseph Taylor holds on there into 4th position. It's AIM, Fusion, KMS, AIM in the top 6 at the moment. Really incredible squabble this at the front here at Buckmore Park. I love this track. It always serves a thriller. As up the inside, Joe Taylor goes to 3rd. 4th goes Wilkinson. 5th nearly goes Reese as well, but somehow Thompson hangs on to that 5th position. This race is anybody's.
Yeah, just under 3 minutes, 2:46 as they cross the line. Now Wilkinson in the box seat here. He's got Taylor in front. He knows Taylor is quick. He knows Taylor is only thinking about winning. Will he go with him when he makes a move? No, he doesn't. That does surprise me, I've got to be honest. Now he'll think the same about Keneally, but he goes up the inside of Keneally through hairpin 2, out of hairpin 2, down to the S's. Wilkinson back behind Taylor. He'll be happy with that in 3rd place with 2:23 on the clock, because he knows Taylor can take him through to 2nd place. As Taylor goes for the lead, he'll look to go with him. It's Simmons in front at the moment, but here comes Keneally, gets the place back, and Thompson goes with him. Has Wilkinson held on? No, so Wilkinson down to 5th, could be 6th, making 5th. Through Cafe Corner, it's all kicking off with 2 minutes to go.
I was about to say there were 3 different teams in the top 3 places. Not anymore. Wilkinson down to 5th position on the KMS kart. Now it's AIM Fusion, the best of battles in cadet racing, with the KMS Lone Ranger. Johnny Wilkinson getting in the mix. As up the inside goes Thompson now to move into 3rd position, following in behind Bray Keneally. So an absolutely cracking squabble. Now we've got 2 AIMs at the front. Simmons leading, Keneally in 2nd place, then Thompson, then Joe Taylor. Now, can Keneally go for the lead? No, not yet, because Thompson's back on the inside, up into 2nd position. Thompson wants to fight his way back for the lead. This would be a cracking drive for Harry Thompson if he could make it all the way to the front, considering at one stage, well, less than 10 minutes ago, in fact, he was about 8th or 9th place after that little tussle. Now he's going for the lead. He's got a good run out of Henry's, up the inside of the hairpin 1, and he's got the lead back again. Now he's got Keneally going through with him into 2nd position. So Thompson leads, Keneally 2nd, Simmons, Taylor, Wilkinson, Reese, and they've all got contact! Thompson has come together with Keneally!
Wilkinson's grabbed himself the lead as well, Jake. Just under a minute on the clock now. Is that going to be a red flag? If that's a red flag, they'll hold on to the positions they had at the end of the previous laps. Have a look. This is the onboard. We've got 2 angles. This is the first one. A little bit of contact, but we can't see.
Bang! Bang! Oh, it's all got messy.
Now, was there any contact with Thompson there? He's holding his arm. He's suggesting he's injured. However, there's Battenberg flags coming out. Now that's a big decision by the officials. If they bring a red flag back out, it goes back a lap, and they hold on to the positions at the front of the field wherever they were.
Well, let's watch.
A little bit of loading. There's loading going on there from the carts behind. Now watch Wilkinson here. He sweeps round the inside, down the inside, into the S's, and takes the lead. He's got the lead. When the Battenberg flag comes out, it's going to finish under the Battenberg flag. It means it's a karting only flag. Slow down, single file behind the race leader. When they go across the line next time, the time will run out. The checkered flag is being held out. It's going to finish like this, and that is a big decision by the officials. The Battenberg flag means that Thompson and Keneally will now finish up down the field, right at the back. That's going to affect Harry Thompson's championship lead. If a Battenberg had come out, it would have gone back a lap. There's the winner, Johnny Wilkinson, delighted, but I tell you what, he deserves that, Jake, because he took advantage there, saw the opportunity, and quick as a flash, nipped up the inside.
Johnny Wilkinson then, a very worthy winner.
Johnny, you won the race. You just kept yourself in the lead battle, but how did that feel?
Yeah, it felt amazing. I just hope Harry's all right so he can keep our battle going for the championship.
So you kept yourself in the lead group the whole time. I suspect that must have been the plan before the race, because anything can always happen, towards the end.
Yeah, it's just to stay in contention until the last lap where someone could spin off, someone could crash, anything could happen.
And talk us through the move for the lead. It's obviously something happened next to you, but you managed to see it happening and get towards the inside.
Yeah, there was something going on the outside. I went straight to the inside, and me and Alex were in a drag race corner, and I came out in front of him.
And I know it's not sometimes the best way to win, but you must have been happy to see the Battenberg flags come out, and then the checkered flag come out when you thought you might have to go racing for one more lap.
Yeah, absolutely, felt amazing.
And who would you like to thank for the weekend?
Johnny Shocks, Kato, my dad, Arden, YDA.
Fantastic result for Johnny Wilkinson, his first win at Super 1 in any grand final. It's still Thompson that leads, but now it's just 5 points from Joseph Taylor. It looks like it's between the pair. Wilkinson, Keneally and Dimitrov round out the top 5. Next up, can Thompson make amends? It's Honda Cadet.
Well, there was drama at the start of the IAME Cadet final earlier on. It would be the same in the Honda Cadet. Watch this. Bang! Big shunt into the wall for James Walker, but incredibly, you saw, look how quickly the officials were on the scene to get to him. And once again, a big impact for a driver, James Walker. But again, great marshalling and great safety standards at Super 1 means that despite the kart travelling to the other side of the circuit, James Walker was seen to and was perfectly okay.
Grid positions then as the karts line up once again. It's Harry Thompson on P2. Oliver Behrman, the O-plate, is on pole. Top 10 look like this. Reggie Dewey there on P7. Ben Kasperzak 9. James Walker there. Should be on P12 now. He was the reason the red flag came out. Actually, he's not there in his normal grid position, but you just about make him out right at the back of the grid. So he is making the restart, and we're off and running through turn 1. Will they all get through there? Standing start for Honda Cadet, of course, and somebody running wide.
Yep, it looked like Harry Garman that was in the mix there. Sebastian Bloch, the 95, having a problem on the start, dropping a long way back. I wonder if he's been able to get that car started again. But we just saw Caden McQueen we were riding on board with. There, we're back on board with him again. That is Ben Fayers in front of us on the Project 1 machine number 6. The one I'm keeping an eye on though this time though, Alan, is Lucas Ellingham, the 99. He's a privateer and he's mixing it with the best of them. Now that is the 25. Casper Stevenson just in front of us as we ride on board again. Still a good battle in the mix as McQueen has the 6, Ben Fayers in front of him still, but Lucas Ellingham, he's the man I'm keeping an eye on.
Yeah, fantastic performance by Lucas so far this weekend as a rookie.
And he's in 4th position at the moment, so he's still very much in contention for a podium. Not for long, he's going up the inside. Lucas Ellingham, the leading rookie, moves up into 3rd position.
Great performance by Lucas, and always good to see the kids improving. Dylan Cooper there on the 15.
Great battles all the way through this field as they charge through. Whoops, a little bit wide there for the 76, Josh McLean. Back on board with Caden McQueen, and as we said, that's Cooper in front. So what can McQueen do as they make their way through paddock? A little blip of the break up Damon Hill and into Garda. Is he going to make the move up the inside? Yes, he does. Very nice move indeed there from Caden McQueen. Now we're on board with Owen Tolley, the kart in front of Caden McQueen actually, the Ambition Motorsport machine, and that is Casper Stevenson in front of us. As down to the first corner once again, Lucas Ellingham, kart 99, right in the mix with Behrman, Thompson and Mason having an absolutely cracking race.
Yeah, the onboard camera karts are line astern at the moment, so they'll be bringing us some action. That's what Mason up the inside. Last couple of rounds, Jake, we've seen the best of Wesley Mason at Super 1, haven't we?
We really have. He's improving no end over the course of this 2016 season, and it would not surprise me if maybe even this round of the championship, certainly in the next couple of rounds, we could see Mason equal to or possibly even better than, in terms of pace and setup, the likes of Oliver Behrman and the Virtus Motorsport squad and Harry Thompson on the cutting edge kart. It'll be really interesting to see how this battle develops. But this, of course, is an interesting campaign for Harry Thompson as he tries to win both championships in a single season. IAME Cadet and Honda Cadet. It's a tall order. Several drivers have tried it, and there's a big squabble there. That's the 57 getting left out to dry. Sam Heading having a bit of an issue as they come through the first couple of corners. Ben Kasperzak, the privateer, is right in the mix as well. Another driver we can't stop singing the praises of. He's really improving.
Yeah, we come down through Syme Sweep one more time. 3 karts at the front of the field. Just got a little bit of a gap now back to the man in 4th place. That's Harry Thompson, a championship leader, losing another spot. So Thompson trying to win the 2-stroke IAME Cadet title and this Honda Cadet title. He's got a little bit more comfortable lead in Honda Cadet. He's had that championship lead dented, now just 5 points in front in the IAME Cadet class. Of course, he can drop this score if this proves to be his worst weekend in IAME Cadet. As up the inside is Stevenson. That's a nice move on Reggie Dewey, by the way. He comes through hairpin 2.
Very nice move indeed, and not easy to get right either. But Reggie Dewey, another driver who's taking part in both championships of cadets, and he's having a good run here as well. Harry Thompson, though, I am surprised, down in 6th position at the moment. He's obviously trying to repair his weekend after the little incident he had in the IAME Cadet with Bray Keneally earlier on. But now he's there in 6th position. We're riding on board with the man who's up to 8th position, chasing after Casper Stevenson. So it's a bit of a difficult day at the office all in all for Harry Thompson. He needs to see if he can grab a podium to redeem himself.
If anyone can come back from 6th place, it will be Harry. Here's the inside move.
Has Caden McQueen got this to the inside? Yes, beautifully done. He shuts the door nicely. You're not getting back past there. And now Stevenson holds off Reggie Dewey. In the mix as well as the 6. Ben Fayers on the Project 1 kart. Still very much in control. And Dylan Cooper is in there as well, the 15. It's a great day for rookies. We've mentioned Lucas Ellingham in 3rd position, the man in 4th. Look at him back. There he is. Ivan Lomliev is right up in 4th position. Well, he was. Kasperzak goes up the inside and Thompson goes with him. Still an incredible run this, though, from Ivan Lomliev, rookie at Super 1, and he's battling with names like Kasperzak and Thompson.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, we've said this year we've seen some of the best rookies, arguably, we've ever seen. Harry Moore taking a win at Landau in the TKM Extreme class, for example. Plenty of others. And obviously Ivan Lomliev, there he is, the 27, along with Lucas Ellingham, playing at the sharp end as Dewey makes a move on Casper Stevenson. Running wide is the 15 of Dylan Cooper.
I thought Fayers was going to join Reggie Dewey on the inside line there as they try to get past Cooper. It didn't quite manage to finish the move. But out in front, it is Behrman. Then it is the 8 of Wesley Mason in front of the 99 Ellingham. As up the inside, the 25 now, Casper Stevenson does make the move on Reggie Dewey to get him back again. 4th position, Kasperzak. 5th position is Thompson. And 6th position, Ivan Lomliev. Well, those are 2 names we're going to need to get used to, isn't it? Lucas Ellingham and Ivan Lomliev. 2 very impressive, talented rookies. Oliver Behrman leading the way, though, the O-plate. And having a cracking run. Wesley Mason running in 2nd position in kart number 8. And then Lucas Ellingham in 3rd. Now, this is the squabble. Great little battle in the mid-pack. Alex Eads in the mix, the 61, running in 8th position. Don't forget, he won the television final at Glanagorse Park in Wales. A tough circuit to get the job done. But Alex Eads is another new face to the world of cadet racing, who's doing a great job as Ellingham moves up the inside into P2. And it looked as though Ivan Lomliev got a move there on the inside as well. Well, he's trying to get past Kasperzak. Oh, 2 wheels on the grass. I tell you what, that boy's got some gusto. Great to see him fighting up in the mix, and Ellingham goes for the lead. Lucas Ellingham takes the lead, and Mason goes with him. Down to 3rd position goes Oliver Behrman, and we have a rookie leader in Super 1. Lucas Ellingham out in front in fine style, but not for long. Wesley Mason goes back to the inside. Behrman could get him through again here as well. And Ivan Lomliev looks like he might have some company. Caden McQueen is bearing down on this battle for 4th position. Great tussle in the top 6, although it could soon be the top 7.
Man in 7th place is Caden McQueen, of course. Ellingham runs wide. Here comes Behrman up the inside to take that spot off him. So Behrman through to 2nd. Mason that has the lead. He's got 4 or 5 kart lengths. He won't have that for long. Caden McQueen on the 42, just going through the picture. There he is. He's got the onboard camera. 6 is Fayers.
Just under 5 minutes on the clock. Plenty of drivers with an opportunity here to make this one count. We've still got Behrman in the battle for the victory. Mason in the lead though. Behrman 2nd, then it's Ellingham. Kart off the sidelines there. Not sure who it is that's pulled off, but Casper Stevenson makes another place up the inside. And that is Ivan Lomliev still chasing down Ben Kasperzak, who's on the tail of Harry Thompson.
68 going through the picture was Kaysen Gibson. He was the winner early in the season, of course. Kaysen has not had so much luck in running since then, but he's in the top 10 certainly. Here comes the bid for the lead. It's Behrman that takes the lead. Lucas Ellingham trying to go around the outside of Thompson. Wesley Mason rather. He's not going to get that done.
This is starting to look like the best season in Honda Cadet in Super 1 history. We've got so many drivers, 4 minutes to go, so many drivers in the mix for the race weekend's final victory. And it's been like this all year long. Every round we've gone to, there's been about 7 or 8 drivers, different drivers every time as well, contesting for the victory. And as these 3 battle for position, look, Thompson, Kasperzak and Lomliev have been scrapping away together, and they've been pushing each other further forward to the top 3. This is going to be a titanic grudge match when Thompson, leading that trio, can get close to it. This is... I'm baffled here because Thompson was in about 7th or 8th place a few laps ago. He's been able to work his way into the front of that field, motivate the boys behind him to push him further forward. He's back in contention for the victory. He's even impressing us with, we already know he can do this. This is impressive by his own standards.
Alfie Rigby got a warning last time round, and this time round it's James Walker, the man who was involved in that incident before we had the restart, of course. He's got a warning as well now. Thompson right in the mix now. Look at this 6-kart train. If anyone can do it from 7th or 8th, it's Thompson. He's worked his way back, he's worked the magic, and we know that he has got that those silky skills. He just doesn't lose the plot wherever he is. Just keeps his head down, works the kart, works the space from wherever he is back to the front, and he's going to start picking these off now. Make no mistake, Ivan Lomliev, very impressive run for Ivan, running in 6th place now.
Look at Behrman, he's defending already. We've got 2.5 minutes on the clock, and he realises now this is only his only chance really to fend off the likes of Harry Thompson. What I'm going to be interested to see here though is how the 2 rookies, Lucas Ellingham and Ivan Lomliev, deal with this. This is a very feisty little battle as Lomliev temporarily goes into 5th position, then tucks back in behind Ben Kasperzak. Caden McQueen is looking to join the party as well in 7th position. How are Ellingham and Lomliev going to deal with this little tussle?
McQueen is loving it. He's looking at these out front of him and he's thinking, yeah, go on boys, keep battling because I'm getting closer and closer.
Oh,
here comes Thompson
yes.
for 3rd. Thompson through the 3rd. Does he? No, he's run
not.
wide. Oh, has he now though? Yes, he has, through Cafe. So now through to 3rd place. Great battling.
Now Lomliev's looking quite hungry for a move on Kasperzak, as again Behrman has to defend like crazy to hold Mason off. Lomliev's got a great run up the inside line here to tuck into the inside of Kasperzak, and he's through, and he's going to get Ellingham as well. Brilliant squabble, they're going to tussle for position. Oh, Thompson has got through all of that though, and he's taken the lead. Meanwhile, McQueen has gone round to the right. He could get 4th position here. He's hanging on in front of Kasperzak, and he's there. Absolutely incredible.
Amazing race again. Fantastic battling here at Buckmore Park. Through the right-hander up Damon Hill. Harry Thompson out front once more. I said he'd get there in the end, and he has done. Reggie Dewey making up a place. The 75 kart going down 1, and then 2, which looks like Harry Garman.
And now with a minute on the clock, oh, that's the O-plate. That's the O-plate getting a warning there. Now I wonder, was that for fisticuffs or was that for track limits? Very hard to tell.
It's Behrman anyway. Behrman gets the warning. So it's Thompson out front. Let's just check it. Behrman in 2nd place. Wesley Mason now in 3rd place. In 4th it's McQueen that's come through. Kasperzak now in 5th. Then comes Lucas Ellingham again. Good run again by Ellingham. Even if he finishes here in 6th place, Jake, he'll probably go out of here disappointed, thinking I could have had a podium. I led the race at one point. But he's got to take the positives out of the weekend. Been a good performance this weekend, and Mason loses 3rd.
Yeah, McQueen's gone through into 3rd position. You're absolutely right though, Alan. Let's be honest here. Ellingham and Lomliev, 2 names we've barely heard of before. And how about this? They've been battling with the likes of Thompson, Mason, Kasperzak, McQueen. It's been absolutely incredible. Behrman in the mix there, of course, as well. And these 2 have defended absolutely brilliantly, attacked, got on with it, made great overtaking manoeuvres. And it's not done yet for Thompson, because Behrman wants to get this back again. And Caden McQueen is looking incredibly racy. He is Lightning McQueen right now. He is pushing on very hard indeed, through the left, through the right, and side by side. That was close. It was Alex Eads trying to get on terms there with the 25 of Casper Stevenson. That came very close to an accident.
Alex Eads, the race winner from Glenigorse Park, of course, and it's all changing now as it go up through Garda, down the left, through the left-hander, and up through Herbert Rise.
Yeah, Kasperzak got into 3rd position in front of McQueen, but Behrman was desperately trying to get one over on Thompson. We're back on board with McQueen. Last lap, it's anybody's guess. Kasperzak goes for 2nd position. McQueen nerves him to get there, and they both get past Oliver Behrman, but still leading Harry Thompson, and that is Lomliev. Lomliev Lumliev is out. He's gone there with Gibson. I don't know if Case and Gibson came together with him, but Ivan Lumliev's fantastic run in the top 6 comes to a bitter end. McQueen goes for Kasperzak, and that was never going to work, unfortunately. Kasperzak ran him out of room. Behrman goes through, Ellingham goes through, and through goes Stevenson, and through too goes 66 Reggie Dewey. What a disaster for Caden McQueen, but what an incredible run to the flag. Reggie Dewey's got some issues. And onto the outside there, Casper Stevenson struggling. That's Tolley who's gone through past McQueen as well. But at the checkered flag, it's Harry Thompson, even by Harry Thompson standards. That was a sensational race. Absolutely incredible. Now there's going to be penalties aplenty here. Tolley, Dewey and Stevenson are all going to be docked. So it looks like this at the end. Thompson from Kasperzak, Behrman in 3rd, Ellingham a cracking 4th in front of Eads and McQueen. I'm out of breath.
Harry, you're on by half a second. Just talk us through your race.
Well, I got dropped off a bit at the start because I wasn't quite on it, and Wes made a good move and they just dropped me. Then me and Ben started to work together. Then we just managed to catch the front 3 because they started battling a bit. And I just managed to work my way through from there and win it.
So how hard is it, when you have a bad start to just forget about it and push on to try and catch leaders?
You know what? You just got to really think of what's in the future, of like what you're working towards, not what's going on then. So I wasn't really thinking about the future. I was just thinking about what I was doing then and just trying to drive the track well.
And looking at the future, I suppose you're looking pretty strong in the championship.
Well, I'm not really looking at that at the moment. I'm just trying to get a few solid positions in.
And who would you like to thank for this weekend?
I'd like to thank Steve from CER for the amazing work that he's done for the years I've been with him, and my family and my dad as well.
After the disappointment of IAME Cadet, Harry Thompson takes the plaudits in Honda, and it looks like it's all over bar the shouting. He's got the comfortable lead over Ben Kasperzak from Caden McQueen now 3rd, Wesley Mason 4th, Archie Brown in 5th. Next up, Junior TKM and the most consistent driver in the championship, Bradley White, on pole.
Well, he's alongside Abby Pulling, who just keeps getting better all the time. Sparrow and Whittingham on the 2nd row, Fowler and Sisson, Briley in 7th position alongside Ross Steele. We could see a bit of a push forward from Leanna Page, another driver who keeps improving as time prevails. And here we go, into the lead for the first time. White gets there into the lead off the start. Sparrow 2nd, Pulling 3rd, so already it's a bit feisty. Up into 2nd, tries to go Pulling, but Sparrow's going to hold it round the outside, tuck back into position. Whoa, that's a bit of a bucking bronco Sparrow's on.
Lee Whittingham made a move on Joe Fowler up in hairpin 1 and has held on as a yes. 50 is Lee Whittingham, the 17-year-old, 31 Joe Fowler, the rookie. They're in 5th. Looks like, is that Christian Briley there in 6th place? That's Adam Sparrow in 2nd, won the televised final at Glynegor's Park, of course, as all the cars stream up through Garda. The 86 Ross Steele making a move, 33 Leanna Page in the mix as well. The 30, just going through the left-hander there, was Harry Pincham. We're on board here with Adam Sparrow. That's Bradley White in front. I said he was the most consistent driver in the championship. He's never won a televised final, and he's not leading this one either. But Jake, he's won so many heats and pre-finals. He is going to be difficult to beat for anybody to beat him in the championship this season. They're going to have to find some consistency.
Well, up to 3rd position goes Lee Whittingham, past Abby Pulling, so she's going to need to find a bit of a response to that one. Really exciting start. Well, she's getting on with it already. Great move up the inside as Abby Pulling goes back into 3rd position on kart 49. She is absolutely flying in this race, still trying to get herself back into contention. She won her first televised final last time out, don't forget, as up the inside, Adam Sparrow loses the place to Bradley White, who once again hits the front. Surely he's got an opportunity this time to win, and through go both Pulling and Whittingham. So Sparrow's gone down. It looks like there's another one going through as well. That's the 31, Fowler. Joe Fowler. There goes the 9 of Briley. This is a terrible lap.
Oh, it's an awful lap there from Adam Sparrow. He had the lead, and he's now down in, 6th place as they look at that four-wheel drift as they come down through the right-hander and left-hander down the corkscrew. That is Sime Sweep.
Well, he hasn't quite saved it yet either, because he's got some pressure from your man in 7th position, the 55 there. That's Daniel Butterworth on the beautiful yellow and blue retro retro-looking kart, I should say. It's a brilliant livery that we're seeing in the Super 1 season in 2016. It is my personal favourite, but certainly Butterworth going as fast as his car looks. Up the inside goes Abby Pulling, and she takes the lead. Wow, she's absolutely on it at the moment. She's one of the superstars of the world of national karting. Certainly, Alan, we've said this before and we'll say it again, potentially the best woman that's ever been produced by Great Britain in motorsport to date. If this is the kind of ability she's got at the age of 12, 13 in junior TKM, well, the possibilities are limitless.
Yeah, she's a major talent, no doubt about it. But I tell you what, listen, Bradley White on that 6 car in behind, if she's going to beat him for the championship, she's going to have to find something, because he has got amazing consistency. Christian Briley on the 9 there in 5th place. He's looking very racy. He was the winner at round 1, of course, in the televised final, Christian, and looking to take his 2nd win. That's the information on Daniel Butterworth. Started P11, now running 8, so made up 3 so far. But Bradley White has got, from Abby Pulling's point of view, annoying consistency. I think he's won something like 9 heats on all of the pre-finals this year. It's amazing as Deal makes a move there on Butterworth.
Yeah, it was Jordan Lee Chapman who got past Butterworth before, and that was a very tasty little move into the 2nd hairpin. Now we're going to get the 31 up the inside. Fowler takes the place off Bradley White. Again, it's all falling apart in the TV final for Bradley White. He's so strong at the beginning of the weekend, and that's why he's the favourite to win this championship, because he's so strong at the beginning of the weekend. But all the credit for that seems to be lost in the mire, because when the cameras come out, it's almost as if his kart hits a jinx and up and over the top of Bradley White's kart. That's Christian Briley riding pillion on the back of his kart.
Oh, and Bradley White, the championship leaders, lost a load of places there. Let's have a look at the replay. We're on board here with Sparrow. Go through the S's. Briley, now look, Bradley White's been slowed down there, so I think that's pure racing incident. That's not Christian Briley's fault necessarily, because Bradley White's momentum was slowed by the car in front, and Christian Briley could not anticipate that in time. And unfortunately, a little bit of coming together. So I'm not going to lay the blame at Christian there. That's just a racing incident. But listen, Bradley White now has got to get on with it, because he is now in danger of losing the championship lead. That's Ross Steele's information. Championship lead running in 9th after collision. Still leads the championship by 2 points, Jake.
Well, if he loses any more places, then guess who's going to take the championship lead? Abby Pulling. And she really needed a bit of a bad race here for Bradley White to get back in contention, just because of how strong Bradley White is in the beginning of the weekend. Oh, up the inside. That's a brave move from James Pashley as he tries to get on the inside. He's going to get that done, I think. Yes, very nicely done, Pashley. He sets him up through Conway's, carries the speed and the energy through Henry's, then tucks it up the inside of hairpin 1 and says, cheers, mate, I'm off.
There is Bradley White on the 6, clearly make him out there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, still there in 9th place. Got to make those places back. He's got to not let the red mist descend here. Just got to keep his cool. He knows he's quicker than these drivers in front. He's now got to hunt them down and pick them off one at a time. I think I'm right in thinking here. Now, if Abby Pulling wins this race and Bradley White finishes, I think it's 6th place, he would still have as many points out of this round as Abby Pulling. So he's just got to be thinking clearly here. Just work the position, just work his magic, work his craft, just try and get back in position. He's closing down on the karts in front. He can't let that put him off. He's got to forget that incident, put it behind him, and now just start picking them off one at a time when he gets there. He's got the quality to do it. If anybody can, Bradley can.
Well, we were watching the 40 Kurt Roberts there briefly, the Festival Cup winner at the TKM Festival last year, of course. Very talented young man, and he's got a potential to move up through the order. 4th and 5th position behind Lee Whittingham, Adam Sparrow and Ross Deal. Behind them is Jordan Lee Chapman. Behind them is James Pashley. Great little battle just outside the top 3. There is Jordan Lee Chapman. 6th position just behind those two. There he goes. And then it's Pashley, the 52. You can tell his kart, it's completely navy blue from the front as they fly through Syme Sweep and through down to Pullman's. There is Pashley, the 52. Then it's Butterworth. And then closing up, it's the number 6, Bradley White.
Talking of closing up, Joe Fowler putting the race leader under pressure, and again, Jake, we've said before, let's say it again, the rookies this season, absolute quality. in so many different classes. Harry Moore took the win in TKM Extreme last time. Can Joe Fowler take the win this time? Another rookie in the championship, and a driver with a fantastic future, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Joe Fowler's very strong. That's Sparrow going up the inside of Whittingham. He came from a long way back as well. He set him up through the first hairpin, carried the energy and the speed through, and just zipped up the inside. I don't think Whittingham was prepared for him being there, but he coped with it very admirably. Slots the car back in a fourth position. Now he's got him back, and through two goes Ross Deal. So Ross Deal through into third position. Very nice move there indeed from Deal, and it's going to be a very strong battle behind them as Sparrow slots down into what is that sixth position, I think now. Now that's the 9, the 55 and the 50. That is Christian Brierley, Lee Whittingham and Dan Butterworth all getting warnings there. In fact, so too did James Pashley and Jordan Lee Chapman. So that's 5 out of these 7 drivers all getting warnings.
Yeah, plenty of warnings going out over the start line there. Bradley White is in front of Daniel Butterworth now, so it looks like White is up to 8th.
Yep, 8th position.
7. Yeah, there he is, 8th position. So he's picked one off. He'll pick the rest off as he gets there, but they're in a big gaggle, so he's just got to be careful he doesn't get involved in any incident. Has a Sparrow up the inside and makes it stick, but just about up on 2 wheels.
Yeah, he just about sorted out Jordan Lee Chapman. Ross Deal very nearly got by, and James Pashley got an invitation to the party too. But that's very close. Whittingham has just about got a bit of space between himself and Sparrow, but Chapman's in there, then Deal, then Pashley, and there's Bradley White trying to close up on all of them to move up from 8th position. So at the moment, he's actually got a bit of a gap back to Abby Pulling in the championship points tally. Pulling still leading, second place Joe Fowler. Then it's Whittingham. Sparrow's closing up though. I have a feeling there could be a bit of a move into Garda. Let's look back. Whittingham in third position. Here goes Sparrow. I told you so. Straight up the inside. Deal's gone past Chapman as well to move up into 5th position. And Pashley's on the tail. Bradley White is just watching this play out. Come to Papa, boys.
Yeah, he's happy with this. He's happy. He's watching it. Keep battling, boys. Keep battling. I'm getting closer. Abby Pulling. How impressive is she? Not looking behind. Again, a bit like Josh Collins in the earlier race. That's a warning there for the
Jordan Lee Chapman for the second
28.
time. Oh, this is getting close as Whittingham wants to shove 19 Sparrow wide. If there's going to be any chance to get through, and it's going to be close, but Sparrow just tucks in. Oh, Sparrow kicks out the back. This is going to be another opportunity for Whittingham to cut through. Whittingham goes wide round the outside. Deal's coming in. Bradley White's trying to go past Chapman. Pashley's got past Chapman at some point in the lap, and Bradley White is now on the back of this train.
Yeah, championship leader right there. He's got to get past one at a time without any incident. Again, as I said earlier, Abby Pulling, sort of about Josh Collins, he never looked behind when he was out front. Pulling's just looking forward, and she's just saying, oh, that is an incident again with, oh, he's caught up on the
Bradley White stuck to the back of Chapman's cars, and he's lost 3 places as a result of that one. Now he's only going to be leading the championship by 1 point if it stays like this. Bradley White, his pendulum of luck, swings to and fro in this race. He made up all that hard work and effort to get himself right into this battle, and now he clashes with Jordan Lee Chapman, goes up and over the back of the bumper, and that is a very dramatic way for his charge to hit a bit of a stumbling block. It's not over. He can make up a bit more time. He's got 1.5 minutes on the clock as Whittingham again battles with Sparrow, but that now puts him down, Bradley White, to 10th position.
He's got 3 laps, I think it is now, to make that position back. Abby Pulling out front has done an amazing job staying there. Adam Sparrow running wide. Has he got that place? No, he hasn't. Has to slot in behind, holds on to it. Abby Pulling, as I said earlier, a bit like Josh Collins, she's been looking forward, not looking behind at Joe Fowler, basically saying to Fowler, if you're quick enough, come by. If not, I'm leading it all the way to the line. And Sparrow up the inside. Whittingham gets done by Deal around the outside, does he? Looks like he has. This side by side. I'm in a cafe corner. No, Whittingham holds on.
This is an absolutely fantastic battle, and now it's the 19, Adam Sparrow, who gets a warning. So Pulling, look, she's been able to pull out a bit of a gap between herself and Joe Fowler. Look at this gaggle for third position, and Bradley White is now in the middle of it with his colleague there, Christian Brierley. They've been scrapping away already in this race, but now he's going to get a move up the inside, and he takes the place, and who goes with him? It's James Pashley. So Bradley White is now back on the tail of, guess who? Jordan Lee Chapman, the man who he tangled with in the first place.
26 seconds on the clock. Bradley White needs, I think it's 6th place to match the same points as Abby Pulling and not lose his momentum in the championship. Here is Abby Pulling with 14 seconds on the clock. There's basically a lap and a bit to go And that is the 52 going through the picture. That is James Pashley.
Yeah, Pashley makes the move there on Brierley. We're not done yet though, boys and girls. The 41s join the party now. Ian Sisson is in the mix here. And who else has got involved? That's the 30 of Harry Pinchin. And Lydia Burney, the 16, is in there as well. She is a rookie. She's actually Christian Brierley's cousin. And she is right in the mix of this as well. It is anybody's guess for this one. Sparrow now desperately hanging on to third position with one hand on the edge of the cliff. He's got two feisty racing drivers on his tail and one lap of the Buckmore Park circuit to go. Abby pulling out in front. Masterclass. This is exactly what we said she could do once she got everything together. If she does this at the beginning of a weekend for the rest of the year, I have a feeling that with this result for Bradley White, it could be Pulling who gets the upper hand. Now up to third position, Sparrow, Deal, and now Whittingham going up the inside. He gets Deal at one of the toughest corners on the circuit to overtake. He's up in a fourth position now, Whittingham. He wants to get this third position back off Sparrow so badly, and he's got one chance. Sparrow knows it's going to happen. Pulling, though, takes the victory for the second time this season. Cracking drive. Fowler in second place. Who is going to be third? We look back. It's going to be close. But I think Sparrow's just going to be able to take it over the line. But I think his front fairing is incorrectly positioned. He's going to get a penalty for that. And that's going to promote Lee Whittingham to third. Deal will be fourth from Chapman and Bradley White in sixth position. But the lady of the moment is once again Abby Pulling.
TKM, June TKM's been so close this weekend. Did you expect it just to be a battle between yourself and Joe Fowler in the end?
Well, I thought it was going to be around me, Brad and Joe, maybe a few others. And maybe Adam as well.
You know, you did a lot of leading in the race, and you know, were you ever concerned about Joe Fowler behind?
Well, halfway through when I looked behind me, I just tried to keep consistent, and I saw him behind me and I was like, oh God, I need to pick this up a bit. And last 3 laps I managed to pull a few temps.
Yeah, and what changed in those last few laps? You know, you just seemed to get so much pace, and Joe, you know, couldn't keep up with you.
Well, I felt the tyres just wearing a bit, and I thought I just need to try and keep consistent and smooth, and it just managed to pay off.
2 wins on the bounce, you must be really pleased. You know, who'd you like to thank for the weekend?
Well, I'd like to thank FAB-Racing for all the help and support they've been giving, and Alan Turney for making the amazing karts, London Rally School for my sponsor, and also Banzai Events, and all my friends and family for the support, and my dad for mechanicking me.
Consecutive televised wins for Abby Pulling, but it's the consistency of Bradley White. He actually tied Abby Pulling on points, so goes out of here with that 5-point lead intact. Fowler's close from Sparrow and Lee Whittingham rounding out the top 5, but that class is going all the way to the final round at PF International. Last race up, it's TKM Extreme.
Chris Whitton, Kyle Sproat on the front row with Lewis Round and Harry Moore the rookie, Taylor and Bruce White, Lawrence and England, Rosser and Bevan rounding out a very feisty top 10. Edwards, Wadley, Owen, Stockford, Rees, Fowler, Back, Horton. This grid is reading like a who's who of senior karting, and he's absolutely incredible. And there's a lot of drivers outside the top 20 looking to make their way through the field as well. Here we go. Great start for Chris Whitton. He's going to lead through turn 1. Is everybody going to make it through Henry's and Conway's for the first time? We're on board with Zach Jones, and that is the O-plate. Matt Allnut just in front of us. A couple of karts going wide. Allnut getting the best of that, making up 3 places, make that 2 places in one go, because the 93 is not going to be compliant. Bill Smith, great jostling in the pack as well as the 15 and 17 get in the mix. That is Sebastian Hutchinson in the middle of the pack.
Zach Jones losing places as he went through the hairpin. Chris Whitton second in the televised final at round 1. Matt England up the inside of Owen Rosser. England looks like he's made the place. Has he? No, he hasn't. Looks like Rosser's held on. Lewis Round for Team TWM starting P3. Now running second. His best performance of the season.
Look at the jostling in the pack in the early stages of this race. We've always said it. This is the success story of the Super 1 Series in 2016. Last year, we struggled to even break into double figures in this class. And now we're struggling to cope with the entry list every weekend because there's too many people wanting to get on this grid. And it is the most sensational senior championship in British motorsport this year. Up the inside goes the 29, Matt Taylor, to make a move on Lewis Round. And he now moves into second place.
Won the televised final at round 1, then got excluded at Glanninghorse Park for being underweight. That is something the race winner got excluded for as well, Phil Smith. And Smith just looking up the inside at turn 1 for a spot. Looks like he's got that done, the 93. Yes, he has. Makes up another place. Starting P20, Phil Smith.
Oh, it's a big one. That is the 52.
That's all up.
Yep, that is the 52. Lewis back with him. So Lewis back on the top of the car. That is a very nasty one. I'd like to see a replay of that and see what happened. But that is a big problem for the O-Play, Matt Honour. Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine.
No, Jake.
No?
He's not saying that. He's saying, well done, my friend. Fantastic. A little bit of sarcasm from the British Open champion there, Matt Honour.
Oh,
and I don't think he's going to leave it there either.
Oh dear, oh dear. I thought maybe there was a bit more pleasantry in the British paddock than that, but maybe not. Yellow flag stationary at turn 1, of course, because of that incident at turn 3. It's waving yellows there. Now, is that the 52 Lewis back trying to get back into the race? Yes, it is. And he's given up because he's realised it's not going to happen. Oh dear. Somebody hand that man a Kleenex. He's in absolute floods at the side of the circuit by the look of it. Absolute despair for Louis back.
Matthew Allnut will have no sympathy whatsoever. Here he goes. What did he do? Does he go? Yeah, there you go, my friend. Well done. Well done. Fantastic.
Oh dear. Well, Matt Allnut not happy at all, and that has put him a lap down on everybody else. So Allnut is out of contention, unfortunately, back at the front, and it's still the 12, Chris Whitton, hanging on. An amazing field of drivers. Let's be honest, if you win this race every weekend, if you win this race in this class, you have to be considered as one of the very, very best drivers in the country at this level, because the grid is full of incredible talent. It's an amazing championship with one of the best karts in British motorsport. If you win this race, it doesn't matter where we go, you have to be considered as one of the British karting elite.
Indeed, and the TKM Festival coming up in August, Jake, one of our favourite events of the season where we always get this sort of racing. The 39 up the inside for a spot, that's Tom Owen.
Yeah, he got one over on Sam Fowler there. Not an easy part of the circuit to do either. We've seen plenty of overtaking moves into Garda, but it's very easy to make a move on the inside. Even harder to shut the door before you get the first part of the centre chicane apex. Now back towards the front. And the number 4 is in P4. Kyle Sproat has joined the back of this trio. And if anyone's going to be able to dice and slice it with the best of them at the front of this field, it's Kyle Sproat. We've seen him time and time again roll his sleeves up and get on with the task in P4. Here he goes, up the inside. Told you so. Lewis Round has no response to him on the exit of Garda, and now up into 3rd position goes Kyle Sproat.
Yep, Kyle Sproat second in the championship coming into this round. Championship leader. The one plate down the field slightly. What's he? He's around about 10th or 11th, something like that, Matt England. Kyle Sproat looking to take the championship lead here, Jake.
Yeah, he was certainly 10th the last time we saw him. I wonder if he's made up a place or two. We'll try and stay with it a little bit longer. Is he 9th? I think he might have just put himself into 9th position, the one. That was the 5 of Owain Rosser going through in what I make 8th position. No, Matt England is still in 10th. He hasn't quite been able to make it up into 9th place. Here goes Sproat up the inside. That was a big lunge and a big avoidance there from Matthew Taylor as well. He suddenly realised, oh, Kyle's on the inside. Get out of the drag, and that was a very feisty move.
Phil Smith's up to 10th place, looks like to me, Jake, there in the 93 from 20th on the grid. Matt England, I think that's in 11th place for Matt. There's the top 6.
Oh, that's the 67 gone. That, unfortunately, is Marcus Edmonds, the privateer. His race is over. Still great jostling at the front of this field, though, as Whitton tries to get away from Sproat with the 29, Matthew Taylor in 3rd.
Yeah, 93, Phil Smith definitely in 10th. Matt England, the championship leader, coming in is 11th. If it stays like this, Matt England loses the championship lead. It'll be Kyle Sproat on the 4 that takes it. I think Chris Whitton could be up to 2nd place here in the championship. Whitton was 2nd in the televised final at round 1 and not done so well since he had that crash, of course, which we saw on the drone at Glannygorse Park. Crashed out that day, but having a much better weekend this weekend. 48, that's Charlie Bruce White, the champion. I think it was in 2002 Charlie won this championship.
Good move on the inside there for Bruce White, but now Sproat leading the race as he's made his way on Chris Whitton, but don't expect that to be the last hurrah. Whitton is going to have an opportunity to get through. It's the 1, the 90, and the new Welsh champion, of course, in there as well. It's not Lewis Round anymore. He was the C plate, but now he's carrying the 11 plate, Alan.
Yep, the kart's up into Garda one more time. Places being made and lost. Harry Moore, the winner at Clandale, looking to get in the mix. 2 wheels on the grass for Harry, but just about holds on to it.
Ryan Edwards it is, who is the reigning Cymru champion, and he is trying to work his way around Matt England, and I think in there as well. Try and look back and see. Well, we haven't quite got far enough back to look at the positions, but Phil Smith is on the back of Owain Rosser, who is on the back of the 28, Lewis Bevan, who is in the mix there as well.
Matt England looks like he's lost places there, Jake. I think he's lost a couple of places in the midfield. So
you're right, yes.
There he is, yeah, he's lost a couple of places. So Matt England not having the best day for him. Here's a spot for, that should be 9th place. That's Owen Rosser losing a spot to Phil Smith. Smith started P20 in 9th, so made up 11.
Yeah,
now there is an incident in the paddock.
Yeah, the race is stopped. The race has been stopped here. Red flags have come out.
Now there has been an incident. We've got somebody trapped under a truck in the paddock, so the paramedics have been called to that by the officials, and as a consequence, the officials have stopped the race, and that will be the end of the race.
Yes,
and it's
it will.
Kyle Sproat that takes the win, Jake.
Matthew Taylor second from Lewis Round, Harry Moore in 4th, Witten, Bevan, Bruce White, Lawrence, Rosser and Smith. England outside the top 10.
Big grid this weekend, wasn't it, as always? Talk us through how hard it's been, in the TKM Extreme class. It's such a tight and technical circuit.
Yeah, it's been hard all year. Luckily, running with Dave Litchfield, we've got the right equipment, turn up, kind of big advantage, I think. So, qualified pole, heats yesterday, could have gone a bit better, 1st and a 3rd. And then pre-final went all right to plan, got 2nd. Final was a bit more difficult, come around the first lap, I think in 6th or 7th, which wasn't the best, but made my way up, and then luckily I'd got through just before the red flag and led a lap before the red flag. I've just got to say massive thank you to Litchfield Motorsport, Dave for the engines, Jono and Dan for the help and mechanicking this weekend, and then to my mum and dad for financing it, because it's not the cheapest of sports.
Well said, and it's sort of halfway through the championship now, looking in good shape. You think you can go on and win this, go 3 better than what you did last year?
Well, that's the aim anyway. 2 more to go. Leading, got to go. Hopefully, do the same at Shennington and then the same at PF, and should take care of itself.
Carl Sproat in the box seat then as we move on to Shennington. Chris Witten has moved up into 2nd. Harry Moore, the rookie, in 3rd. Matt England drops from 1st to 4th this round. Matthew Taylor comes back into the top 5. That's all from Buckmore Park. Just time to tell you, if you are interested in holding meetings, corporate events here, then check out the website at buckmore.co.uk for all the information you will need. If you want more information about the Super 1 Series, you can check out the Super 1 website at super1series.com, or alternatively on Facebook search for Super 1 Series and engage with us. Become a Facebook friend and find out all the information you need to know about Super 1. That's it for now. We'll be back with more racing at Fulbeck next time. See you then.